Pillion is one of those films which are likely either wanting to watch or not, and I doubt this review will change your mind on the matter. Here are my thoughts on the film. It follows Colin, a reserved, timid man, played by Harry Melling, who is then taken on by an impossibly handsome, also mysterious, biker to be a submissive.
I have an aptitude for devotion.
Whatever preconceptions you may have from that brief synopsis, it is crucial to bring up the fact that Pillion, more than anything else, is a rom-com. It happens to contain more explicit content, but it is a rom-com between Melling's Colin and Alexander Skarsgård's Ray, the biker. To contextualise within my personal viewing experience, it is the most booked I think I've seen a screening in recent memory, albeit a smaller one, but impressive nonetheless, especially one for a comedy. People were laughing at the jokes, creating an atmosphere which brought me to the conclusion that, is Pillion going to lead a resurgence in rom-coms? Because it is a really good one, even coming from me, a guy who isn't a big fan of rom-coms usually. A rom-com doesn't go far unless its leads can bring a weight to their performances. More than any other genre, the interpersonal chemistry between the leads has to be there, or else the whole dynamic the entirety of the film is built around collapses. And I think that is where the film can divide its audience. The relationship is an enigmatic one from an outsider's perspective. Ray is cruel to Colin in a way that seems alienating, but is still consensual. That doesn't stop being a key consideration within their dynamic. It borders on being more than that, at times, but the narrative plays upon audience expectation. Harry Melling, Harry Potter's own, is the heart of the film. His wants, his desires, his emotional turmoil all fuel the story. Colin is, for a large chunk of the narrative, a deeply uncomfortable man, not quite sure of what it is that he wants, and Melling does an excellent job of portraying a melancholy and confusion within Colin that hooks the audience. The performance isn't without its more humorous moments, as Colin is plunged into a world of dominant bikers and their submissives which leaves him as a fish out of water, offering some of the more comic moments, as well as the more isolating ones too. Then, at the centre of Colin's desires, is Ray, the enigmatic biker who sweeps him off his feet, with his cold demeanour. I've seen reviews where people are turned away from this film by just how cold and cruel Ray is to Colin, but I find the point of the film, as it were, to be the gradual understanding of Ray's very own insecurities, which he keeps repressed deep down, and doesn't let out. That is what is most interesting about Pillion. Seeing Skarsgård play the hyper-masculine machismo isn't new. It's one of my favourite performances from him thus far has been in Robert Eggers' The Northman, but him playing such a complicated, nuanced, human being, deeply flawed but more in a realistic manner than The Northman's more epically proportioned revenge tale character study, is new to me, and he pulls it off. The film wouldn't be half of what it was, both in its drama and comedy, if it didn't include the more messy elements of Ray. Colin is the heart and soul of Pillion, guiding the audience's perception, but Ray is the key to understanding what the film is trying to get at, about the relationships within these sorts of communities, that they are more complicated than they may otherwise seem from an outsider's point of view. The film is also powerful on a technical level, especially during scenes where Ray and Colin are riding on Ray's motorcycle. Cinematographer Nick Morris's camera is kept in these extreme close-ups on hands on bodies, Colin's eyes, the closeness of the two people on the bike. This is reminiscent of how a filmmaker like Guadagnino tackles themes of eroticism and human connection through the decision to shoot scenes primarily with close-ups on body parts which aren't sexualized. It remains personal, interwoven with the themes of desire, rather than the explicit nature of some of what is shown on screen. I liked Pillion. I really liked Pillion. I find it to be a fascinating glimpse into a world which I would never have really thought twice about if it wasn't for the film. I think it might just be the best cinematic experience for a comedy I've had this year. To clarify, not the best comedy film, but the best screening for a comedy film I've been to this year. And it's an emotionally weighty film. Again, like I said in the beginning, I doubt this will change anyone's mind, even if I recommend it. That's fine. The concept is inherently not for everyone, I think, but I find it to be a surprisingly poignant rom-com in an era where we don't get many rom-coms anymore in the theatrical setting. Pillion, 3.5 stars. Well, that's all. Keep on watching movies and form your own opinions. See you in the next one.